Hello and welcome to Chadify. Today we will be analyzing Joe Biden's face, providing him with Looksmaxxing insight and Chadification. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., born November the 20th, 1942, is an American politician who is the 46th and current president of the United States, belonging to the Democratic Party. As of 2022, he is the oldest president to ever run. Since Joe Biden is 80 years old, we will have to use footage from his earlier years to showcase what he actually looked like during his prime. As you can see, this photo here is from current President Day. This is Joe Biden in 1959. It may come as a surprise to many of you that Biden was a pretty attractive guy in his youth. He was the class president in his junior and senior years at high school, foreshadowing his future. This is a picture of Joe Biden in 1965 when he attended the University of Delaware, completing a double major in history and political science while playing football on the side. After this, he went on to study law at Syracuse University, graduating in 1968. Here's a photo from 1967. Joe Biden actually received a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette as a wedding gift from his father. This is Joe Biden attending a baseball game with his late son, Bo. And then here are a few different other photos from his professional career as a politician. Due to a shortage of Joe Biden photos, I had to work with lackluster angles, expression, and quality. My solution was to extend the time frame beyond his prime slightly into his mid-40s. The purpose of Chadify is to help others. I mean to neither disrespect nor emotionally hurt anyone with this video, or any of my videos for that matter. It will always be about my audience, and I truly try to respond to every comment you guys post. Additionally, I am not a medical professional, so please seek accredited advice from professionals if you are considering any form of treatment. Finally, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And of course, my Fiverr is available to anyone seeking a face rating, Looksmaxxing suggestions, and Chadification. More on that later. Alright guys, on to Joe Biden's best features in order of importance. First of all, he has a straight, forwardly grown mandible. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic here. Tight hyoid skin. In every single picture, it is incredible hyoid skin. He has great almond eye shape with good proportions. You might argue that it's slightly on the high end of 4:1, be a little bit too squinty, but the truth is, Joe is smiling in this photo, which is going to warp the aspect ratio slightly, and is in fact close to a 3 or 3.2:1 ratio. He has minimal upper eyelid exposure in every single photo, and he has low body fat percentage. He's facially lean, especially in this photo here. In this one, you can definitely see the definition in his neck, his Adam's apple. Everything is pretty much shredded. Okay, maybe not shredded, but pretty lean. He has thick, luscious hair at age 25. Obviously, in this photo, he doesn't, but when he was younger, he definitely had a lot of hair that was thick and nice. He has straight white teeth, which is obvious in every single photo I've seen of this guy, every video, even at age 80. He has a trapezoidal jaw, especially at age 44. In his younger years, he actually had a bit more rounding of the jaw. It seems he became more masculine as he approached his 30s and 40s. He's a lengthy ramus where the gonian undercuts the mouth. Again, absolutely obvious that it comes down. Now, something I didn't write in this report is the fact that his gonian is slightly curved. It's a minor flaw, but it is something that you will notice when we chatify him later. And he has an ideal gonial angle of 120 degrees. There's some nuance here, and let's hypothesize, why is 120 degrees for this specific photo potentially a little bit inaccurate? And the truth is, Joe Biden's face is on a slight angle. If you were to actually take that into consideration, the angle would actually be closer to about 115 degrees. 115 is even better than 120. He has equal thirds of width of his face. There is no narrowing of his lower third. It fits even better at age 44 than 25. He has good mid-face width. I had to do a bit of Photoshop here to actually simulate Joe Biden without a tooth smile. I think this totally makes sense. As he got older, it filled out more, closer to 2:1. He has positive canthal tilt, which is fantastic. This means that the medial canthus of the eye is lower than the edge of the eye here. He also has a downward pointing medial canthus. He has short eyebrow distance. He has neutral tilt, and his thickness of his eyebrows and eyelashes is fantastic. He has a thick neck, his compact eye orbits, and he has blue eyes which are strikingly attractive. And he has an ideal Cupid's bow. And finally, Joe Biden has tanned skin. Facial flaws in order of importance. We're going to break it down between age 25 and age 44 since a lot of these are age dependent. The biggest flaw is Joe Biden's hair loss. It's obvious that he had some recession occurring already. His second biggest flaw overall, which happened at age 44, is his signs of aging. You can see some wrinkles here, some graying of his sideburn area as well. Nothing major, but definitely noticeable. Now, this is a common flaw as it is shared between his 25-year-old self as well as 44. He has wide set eyes. There's 115% of one eye width in between his two eyes, which is 15% larger than it should be. This could be attributed not only to the fact that his eyes are too separated, but the fact that his eyes are a little bit small. And he has a longer mid face. To be honest with you guys, I was a bit surprised that it was this large. It's not as bad in his younger picture here, but let's not forget that he is smiling, which scrunches up the middle face as well, making this artificially more ideal. And he has thin lips. It's pretty obvious that he doesn't have the juicy, plumped up lips that are ideal in today's society. He has an oversized nose. Interestingly, this is not a shared flaw. So the last three are connected across both ages. However, it is very interesting that Joe Biden either got a rhinoplasty surgery that no one knows about, or he grew into his nose, which I think is much more probable as his mid-face widened out. So it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that his nose would look smaller and more ideal on his face than when he was younger. Another age-specific flaw is his chin-philtrum ratio, which only is a flaw for his 25-year-old self. His chin is 2.73 to 1, where it actually should be between 2.25 and 2.5 to 1. This might actually be the information we need to pin down Joe Biden potentially on a feasible rhinoplasty surgery, because it appears that there's just less space above his lip here than on this one where he has an ideal 2.25 to 1 ratio. This could be the angle, this could be the lighting, this could be the smile, but it is worth noting he has a little bit of a flaw here. However, guys, having a larger chin relative to your philtrum is much better than having a long philtrum. It's just more masculine. And then finally, his ears stick out a little. Guess Joe's rating. Age 25, age 44. 7 Chad Light tier. That's what Joe Biden scored at age 25. I believe he was a 7 all the way throughout to his late 30s. Age 44, he scores a 6. Despite the number of flaws being very similar between both age groups, the flaws of his 44-year-old self are much more detrimental and severe than the flaws when he was younger. Hence why he scored a 6 versus a 7. Of course, what about 2022? We've been focusing on a younger Biden. What about outside of his peak? What if we test the limits of rating Joe Biden's face? 3 out of 10 attractiveness. Why is that the case? As an 80-year-old man, he doesn't look that bad. In fact, I would argue that he looks better than many 80-year-olds out there. The problem is the flaws of aging, the flaws of hair loss, these things become extremely severe at some point that they actually pull down your score to the sub 5 category. That's why the scale malfunctions. Rating older people with this typical Chad rating scale is not a good idea if they're above the age of 65. Instead, we should be comparing them to other people their own age. Joe Biden at age 80 here potentially is Chad material at his age cohort. Looksmaxxing advice. Ooh, yeah. So I'm leaving on the older version of Joe Biden here. All this looksmaxxing advice applies when he's extremely young, middle-aged, and old. It will always help you. First of all, gym. Gain muscle, lose fat. For health and aesthetic purposes, we always focus on the aesthetics of everything. Black Pill is so focused on getting girls, getting more attractive, and looking better in general. But there's another component that matters so much. Health. It may not feel like it's a huge priority when you're 25, but as the age creeps up on you, being healthy is key if you don't want to hurt yourself. And we've all seen videos of Joe Biden stumbling up the stairs to his airplane. We've seen him losing balance at times, and that's normal for someone aging. But had Joe Biden lifted weights seriously for his entire life, many of these things would likely not be as prominent. Minoxidil and or a hair transplant. Joe got hair plugs in his 30s, so he had like the FUT method of hair transplant back in I think the 70s when the technology wasn't that great. Had he gotten the treatment nowadays, I think it would be unrecognizable that he actually got a hair transplant. Lip augmentation. Plumping up Joe's lips would absolutely be an incredible thing. Skincare regimen, proper UV protection can slow the development of fine lines and aging of the skin. I mean, this is stuff that everybody here that's watching my videos should be doing. I would argue in 2007, Joe looks quite a bit older. Joe Biden in 2022, I mean, like, you see how the wrinkles disappearing and his hyoid fat is completely removed? He looks like an 80-year-old Chad here in some ways. And I can attribute this to a few different things. He definitely got a couple facelifts, Botox in his wrinkles and lacking collagen, and of course, teeth whitening. I mean, look at his teeth. They are fantastic. Incredible teeth. Truth is, Biden is Looksmaxxing, especially since he became president. He's absolutely Looksmaxxing here. Time to Chadify. I have a Fiverr where you guys can purchase face analysis, Looksmaxxing, and Chadification from me. So you can do exactly what I do in these videos to yourself in total privacy and confidentiality. It gives you the information quickly, kickstarts your self-improvement journey, get everything in a few very detailed documents. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. All right, guys, Joe Biden's Chadification. Oh my God, you see his muscles there? He just broadens up. And then I did a few different hairstyles, but at the end of the day, he looked like a Chad in every single one. Look at the muscular size. Look at the smile. I mean, look at the hair. Everything is tied together. We're going to go in reverse now, and you're going to see him go back. Look at that, the hair shortening. And then, boom, his muscles get much thinner. And then fast forward. All right, guys, so that basically is Joe Biden as a Chad. The truth is he was pretty close to a Chad in the first place, so the changes are quite minor. With a good physique and some enhancements of his face, he can really level up from the 7 to 8+ category. I mean, look at him. Just look at him.
He's so handsome. Look at him.
We're going to now do a Chadification of Joe Biden's face when he was 44 years old versus 25. And here we go. Look at his hair. Oh my God. He's beautiful. He looks incredible. Holy crap. I mean, it's incredible. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyebrows. Look at the jawline. Now we're going reverse. And he's back to a 6. Still looks great, but whoa. Now fast. You can really see that Joe Biden already is an extremely attractive man, with a few enhancements in the jaw region, in his eyes, getting them a little bit more bright, darkening his eyebrows a bit more, growing out the hair, really bringing that hairline down and removing the aging of his face with different surgeries. You're taking this guy to an absolute epitome of a Chad right here. And then finally, Joe Biden Chadification side view. Get ready. You're going to see that curved gonian square up more. Here we go. Do you see that squared up? Whoa, his muscles. Holy crap. He looks like Mike O'Hearn right now. So we're reversing now. Look at how much his muscles shrink. His face gets a little more droopy, and boom, back fast for you. So, I mean, I look at this, and he looks like a true baseball legend. Anyone who says, hey, gaining muscle is gonna wreck your face, yeah, right. I mean, look at him. He has a pretty looking face, but is masculine like a Chad, and he's absolutely jacked out of his mind. The guy is a unit. He looks incredible here. Who's next, guys? A or B? Donald Trump or Mike Mew? Thank you all for watching. Please leave a comment as it helps the YouTube algorithm. I'll talk to you guys next time.